Chapter 3. Girls are not online looking to get laid. Big news just in. There's been a recent development in online dating in the last few moments, and it touches on pure rocket science. It involves women and how they view online dating and sex. Now remember, women have known this for a long time, but the secret has just most recently been revealed to men. I want to make sure you get this and understand it. This is something drastically new, and I know it goes against your views, your programmed DNA, and how we're built as men in our sexual existence. It requires you to realize how stupid you've been acting, and you must get out of your own way and stop thinking that women think like men. It may come as a shock at first, so you might want to take a time and prepare for what I'm about to drop on your lap. Some basic suggestions. You may want to go to the fridge, grab a nice cold beer, practice some breathing techniques, or hell, pull out some YouPorn on the computer and go to town on yourself. I really don't give a shit what you do. Point being, do what you have to do so I can drop this information on your lap and, what I'm about to tell you. Go ahead, I'll wait. Okay, great, you're back. Good. Ready for the pot of gold here, guys? In all seriousness, women are not online looking to get laid, you fucking moron. It's not their purpose of signing up for online dating. Women don't just sit around the computer and get so desperate they think to themselves, I'm going to go trolling for penis tonight on the internet with a bottle of wine at home in front of the computer. The dominant reality of the natural. Number 1. No special privileges for a woman with good looks. They don't let physical beauty run them into the state of neediness that most men go into when they see a pretty girl. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Can I buy you drinks all night and put you up on this huge pedestal and give you all the power, please? No exceptions here, guys. They don't do it because it's the death of attraction and they know it. Number 2, they are unconscious to what others think. They don't seek approval. They don't worry about what others in the room are thinking of them, including attractive women. They're not looking around the room to see where the cool kids are. They could give a fuck. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Sometimes when guys are single, they become really, really needy and desperate. They're willing to settle for anything that comes their way that has a great smile and big tits. These guys are like poster children for the emotionally challenged. As you already may know, not all women are good and not all are emotionally stable. Some of the very best looking women in the world stink worse than smelly tuna. I'm not even talking about between her legs either. Whether you are new in online dating again or just getting back out there after a long relationship has ended, jumping right into the first girl that gives you a little attention and making her your world is never the best way to go. If you're doing that, stop it. Of course, as a man reading this book, I'm just wasting my time here stating the obvious. I mean, when was the last time you saw a pretty girl out at a bar and said to yourself, check out the nice set of brains on her? I'm here to tell you that you're a lying jackass if you're agreeing with that statement. All men know the truth, so stop avoiding and apologizing for it. Chapter 18. Not all girls react the same way. Did he just write what? Not all girls react the same way when you write them, and it's perfectly fine. Let's start there. You owe them nothing else after having fun and being who you are at this point. I want to give you an example of 3 girls I was communicating with recently on Match.com. All this was nothing more than a copy and paste one set and ball bust. Starting off, I already went back and forth once with each of these women when I replied back the last time. And I never got a reply from that initial email, and it was just funny because this is one of the things I never recommend doing. Taking too long to reply back to someone and letting too much time go by, especially if you're interested in them. Everyone gets busy with life for sure, and it does indeed come up. But on the flip side, most suck at dating in general and are extremely lazy as shit with it. Others will just not have the time and energy to devote, or they will have it in their mind right off the bat that they simply cannot meet a good guy on the internet. I've heard all this crap before from women who, such as this, number 1, don't persist long enough and give it enough time to meet someone. Number 2, they have a negative attitude towards online dating and are tangled up in some sort of preconceived notion about it. Number 3, they are locked in their head and they can't see past their narrow view of reality. Number 4, they just don't get the odds of finding someone and how it's stacked up against them. The more you try and the more experience you get, the closer to the pinnacle you're going to be with everything in life. The more you fumble and fuck it up and learn, the better off you're going to be. Problem is, most men have a hard time accepting and admitting to having a really shitty singles life. Most would rather jerk off alone and do nothing about it than admit there's a problem and confront it head on. I know one thing. You won't be ready for her by sulking about how your ex dumped you and living in the past. You will not be ready for her by letting yourself go physically and playing Xbox all day. How about with $20 in the bank account? Do you think reading comic books instead of self-improvement and dating advice education like this book will make you automatically wake up one day and be a master of flirtation and seduction? No, it won't is the simple answer here. Chapter 2, Creating a Dummy Hot Girl Online Dating Profile. So are you ready for a little fun exercise to learn some valuable lessons? We're going to start with your first homework assignment, and this is what you need to do before you do anything else. So finish this chapter, close the book, and then move on to Chapter 3 when you have your dummy profile live for responses. Now, I know what you were thinking about this, but this is damn fun, trust me. In order to learn what it's like coming from a hot girl's view and what she has to deal with on a daily basis from men, I'm going to have you create a hot girl dummy profile for research. Think of it as a reconnaissance mission. Have you ever wondered what not to say to a woman in the very first email? Have you ever questioned what those oh shit things are men say that just screw up their chances right off the bat with women, when it comes to first contact? Have you ever wondered what to say to a woman that puts you in the definitely not category with her and makes her utter those famous words, ew? You have all heard it, come on. Have you ever wondered how men act online that just makes women want to sew their pussies shut? This exercise you will finally see for yourself and then some. When learning how to write profiles and even the very first email you send after picking out a girl that turns you on, there's a little work that must go into it. I've talked about this before, and I honestly believe that too many of you guys go into a situation with a predetermined goal and specific objective like it's some sort of conquest. Being single, learning, and getting better with girls does not mean it's a tactical mission bombing over enemy territory. If you come up short, or it simply doesn't go according to plan, like most of the time it won't anyway, you make it personal and turn it on the inside. You make it so destructive on yourself that the fun of just being and the enjoyment of being single seems to vanish as fast as the girl does. And guess what? Women will see this. Trust me. They will be turned off to the fact that you made them out to be some sort of agenda and view you, as I do, as a man who just doesn't get it. The guys that really have it together and are more evolved men will understand this when it happens sometimes, and they just shrug it off right away and move on. He knows he's not going to want or be attracted to every girl he meets either, so why the hell would you want to be liked by everybody anyway? It's just not realistic, buddy. The biggest thing that separates these guys from the ones who are abusive is they simply are okay with rejection and embrace it as a part of life. They never act like this girl is the last girl that they're ever going to talk to or be with. They never feel compelled to explain or justify themselves, or much less verbally assault a girl for her personal choices. They live in abundance and can care less because there are too many girls out there to pick from. My best advice is to go for girls who are interested and forget immediately about the ones who aren't. It's their problem anyway and has nothing to do with you. Leave it all for them to deal with. Chapter 20. Phone numbers and phone calls. Before arriving at this chapter, I will assume you're getting better with your writing and how you may have learned how important it is to construct eye-catching emails. If you're still having trouble, keep practicing and in time it'll come. This chapter will be a little longer than others. By now you've already sparked her interest and she was impressed with not only your pictures, but your profile, but also how you wrote in both her copy and paste email opener and your personalized responses. You followed the formula from chapter 15 and absorbed all of my examples in addition to coming up with your own. Now that you blasted away, what better time to move it along one step closer to a real-life encounter in and out of her bedroom? Because it's the point of the whole thing. Before we talk phone numbers, ask yourself what you really want at this point. Ask yourself how much time you're willing to put into hitting it home from here. You can have the greatest profiles, the pictures, and compelling email to lure her in, but if you screw this one important step up, it's going to be over and completely just wasted your time. Like I said before, it's not rocket science by any means, but you must know what to do and what not to do. Are you ready for the grand advice that will lead the interaction from cyberspace to the actual conversation? In this chapter, we will cover some crucial and something so basic, yet most will fumble and fuck it up like everything else we talked about up to this point in previous chapters. It's the actual phone call. You can literally go broke and rack up huge monthly credit card debt meeting jackass women and buying them drinks and food all night and never getting laid. Most of which you will never see again and never fuck, so why on earth would you want to pay for everything? Sounds like a good deal for her, and not you, buddy. Get over the need to pay all the time and stop dropping large amounts of green. As we said, if she's into you, none of that will matter in the beginning anyway, so stop trying to buy a woman's affection by picking up the tab all the time. All you douche rockets do it, so don't even try to say you don't. The day and age has come and gone where a guy must pay for everything, but you all seem to still want to do it. I know, it's pre-programmed in our DNA. If a woman wants you to hear her roar and compete with you in the corporate world, she can in the dating world as well, because she makes just as much, or sometimes more than you. It always turns me off when women want to flip it around and sing a different tune in the intimacy polarity setting. In closing, you're officially on your own after this, and I wish you the best of luck. Despite all the ball busting in this book and harshness, I really want you to succeed and get this area of your life handled with women and dating. You're learning a skill set, and you need to move forward from here, of course, and you always will be learning through constant trial and error, the rest of your life. You may land a great woman online for a long-term, satisfying relationship, and then wake up 10 years down the road, and it'll be over and time to start again. When that, or if that happens, I'm not wishing that, but if it does, this book will be here and waiting for you, because online dating and the knowledge is here to stay. So read it, absorb it, shelf it, and come back to it as often as needed when you need it. Also, the audio version. Figuring women out, what works for them, what doesn't, failing, succeeding are all part of a lifelong process of discovery and growth. Someday, though, it will end, and you will indeed settle down with most likely one woman. I wish you success with women that I've had over the years from my online dating experiences and what I've learned writing this book. Just think of the stories you're going to have and how you bought this crazy book online or listened to this audio program that led you to find your future wife or long-term partner over the internet. Who knew, right? I hope this moves the world forward in some small way and proves valuable in your online dating life as a single guy.